Welcome to this Tutor to You Sociology topic video looking at work, poverty and welfare, focusing on Marxist explanations of poverty. As a class conflict theory, Marxism is possibly best placed of the critical theories to analyse the structural inequalities in society that lead to poverty. They argue that the organisation of capitalism will inevitably lead to inequality in society, and this leads to poverty for those in the lower socioeconomic classes. Capitalism is based upon the need for increasing profits year on year, and this, according to Marxists, leads to workers being exploited in the workplace as owners try to drive down wages. Coupled with increasing cost of goods, this may increase profits for companies, but forces workers into poverty as their wages reduce and the cost of the goods they need to survive increases. A further aspect that Marxists examine is the extent to which individuals in poverty are excluded in society, particularly in political representation, and this explains why many are unable to escape poverty. So how does capitalism create poverty? According to Marxists, the ruling class own the means of production and they look to maximise their profits from their investments. This can be achieved in one of two ways, and often both simultaneously. Firstly, the ruling class can look to maximise profit through increasing revenue, and this can be achieved through either making more sales or through increasing the price of their goods. Secondly, they can look to maximise profit by reducing costs. Now, this could be through technological innovation or securing lower fixed costs of machinery or factories, but it's most likely to be done through reducing variable costs, and this includes labour. Workers may be exploited to work longer hours or produce more, or could simply be replaced with cheaper workers. This has a dual effect in creating poverty, as workers earn less while having to meet rising costs, meaning less disposable income. This is the case with the cost of living crisis in 2022, as wage stagnation, that is, rising less than inflation, coupled with rising fuel costs, leaves families on the brink of poverty. The rise in energy price cap, the recommended price suppliers should charge for energy, comes at a time when energy companies are boasting record profits. According to Westergaard and Ressler, the persistence of poverty is intentional in society as it aids capitalism. This is because people are less likely to challenge their position as a low-paid worker in society if it means losing their job and descending further into poverty. This is a common Marxist viewpoint that limiting access to resources is used as a tool to ensure workers remain compliant. With high levels of unemployment or underemployment, that is where workers are willing but not able to secure enough hours to meet their needs, this creates the fear that individuals could be replaced, and so they do not challenge the ruling class. Workers, therefore, will accept lower wages and demand less in additional benefits, so that they can secure some income, even though it may not be enough to meet their needs. For example, the prevalence of zero-hour contracts means people are not guaranteed work, but have the possibility of earning something, which benefits businesses as they can control workers, whilst also being able to cut costs when required. An example of this was during the COVID pandemic lockdowns, where employers could reduce costs by not paying those on zero-hour contracts, which benefited them while they were unable to trade. A further issue raised by Marxists is that of social exclusion. Ralph Miliband, father of former Labour Party leader Ed Miliband, argued that those in poverty suffered from social exclusion, particularly having a lack of access to political power. This lack of access results in further exploitation as they're unable to challenge the inequalities of society's unequal structure. Conversely, the labour movement grew through the organisation of trade unions in the early 20th century, which did provide power to workers through collective bargaining agreements and threats of withdrawing labour, providing workers with a form of political power, at least in the workplace. However, with the dominance of neoliberal economics and growing individualism in society in the late 20th and early 21st century, coupled with anti-trade union policies, their impact has largely been reduced. Marxist explanations offer structural explanations for the existence and persistence of poverty in the 21st century, and their explanations move away from shifting blame onto individuals. Furthermore, the discussion of social exclusion and how this maintains the level of poverty in society offers a logical explanation for the persistence of poverty. Those in power do not understand the impacts of poverty, and those in poverty are unable to change the structure of society. However, there are limitations to Marxist explanations of poverty. They fail to explain how some individuals escape poverty through innovation and capitalizing on the skills that they have that are in demand. It can be seen to be a deterministic approach. Furthermore, discussion of poverty is on the agenda of many media outlets, certainly in the post-pandemic era and with the rising cost of living. There are many aspects of the new media looking to tackle the social and economic inequalities, and this places pressure on governments to act. However, the extent to which government intervention is successful is a matter of debate. That concludes this Tutor to You Sociology topic video looking at work, poverty and welfare, focusing on Marxist views of poverty. Thanks for watching.